From the moment she stepped into the dimly lit restaurant, Admiral Rebecca Cole felt something she hadn't felt in years: nervous. Not during combat missions, not during storms at sea, not even when addressing a room full of generals. But this, a blind date arranged by a well-meaning colleague. This made her feel exposed. She spotted him at the table, Daniel, her date. Clean-cut, smiling, until he looked her up and down. The smile faded like someone had switched off a light. He stood, but not to greet her. "Listen," he said, awkwardly rubbing his neck. "You look different from the photos your friend sent. I'm sorry, I expected someone slimmer." The words landed like punches. Rebecca froze. For a woman who'd led rescue operations under gunfire, this simple sentence hurt more than any bruise or battle scar. She tried to laugh it off, but her voice cracked. "My photos were taken last year. Life changed. Responsibilities grew." He shrugged. "I just think compatibility matters. And, honestly, I'm very fitness-focused. This won't work." With that, he walked away, leaving her standing alone in a restaurant full of people who had definitely heard every word. Rebecca swallowed down the embarrassment and reached for her bag to leave. Admirals did not cry. Admirals did not break. Admirals did not. But then someone approached her table hesitantly, holding a mop handle like it was a cane of courage. "Ma'am, everything okay?" She turned and saw Michael Harris, the restaurant janitor, mid-40s, tired eyes, sleeves rolled up, a quietly humble look about him. A single dad, though she didn't know that yet. Rebecca forced a smile. "Yes, just bad timing." Michael looked at her like he saw straight through the armor. "I'm not trying to pry," he said softly, "but the guy who walked out is the one who's missing out. Not you." Rebecca blinked. No one had ever said something so gentle to her at a moment so raw. "You don't even know me," she whispered. Michael shrugged. "Don't need to. Kindness doesn't require a resume." For the first time that night, she smiled for real. Rebecca sat back down, trying to regain composure. The waiter came over, apologized for the scene, and brought her water on the house. But she still felt her chest tightening. Not from rejection, from shame. The kind that comes from a stranger reducing your entire worth to a number on a scale. Michael returned after a few minutes and started cleaning the next table, humming quietly. Something about the way he moved, light, gentle, almost careful not to disturb her, made her relax. "You can sit with me if you're on break," she finally said. He froze. "Are you sure? I don't want to intrude." "You're not," she answered. "Honestly, I'd appreciate the company." He nodded, pulled out the chair across from her, and sat down awkwardly, wiping his hands on his apron. "I'm Rebecca," she said. "I know," he chuckled, then corrected himself quickly. I recognize the uniform. Navy, right?" She nodded. "Admiral." Michael's eyes widened. "Whoa, wow. It's just a job," she said quietly. He shook his head. "No, ma'am, that's service. That's sacrifice. That's something people like me look up to." Rebecca lowered her gaze. "People like you." Michael chuckled sadly. "I'm just a janitor trying to feed my kid. Nothing special." Something about that sentence hit her harder than Daniel's cruelty. Because here was a man who spoke of himself like he was small. And yet his presence calmed her more than anyone in years. They talked. About life. About kids. About the Navy. About struggles. Michael told her about his daughter Emily, who was 10 and loved science. His wife had passed 5 years earlier, leaving him balancing grief, work, and fatherhood alone. "It's hard to do everything by yourself," Rebecca said softly. Michael nodded. "You'd know. Admirals carry the weight of the world. Sometimes," she whispered, "I feel like I carry too much." He looked at her. Not with pity, not with admiration, but with understanding. A simple, human understanding. And that was what she needed. But challenges didn't wait. As they spoke, Daniel, her failed blind date, returned, now hand in hand with another woman he had apparently matched with moments after ditching Rebecca. He laughed loudly, making sure she heard. "Guess I found someone more my type," he said, glancing pointedly at Rebecca's stomach. Before Rebecca could respond, Michael stood. "Sir," he said with surprising firmness, "you don't talk to people like that." "Not to her. Not to anyone." Daniel scoffed. "Who are you?" "The cleaning guy." Michael took a breath. Yes, and even I know better manners. People around the restaurant turned to watch. Rebecca felt her cheeks burn again, but this time from something different. Pride. Daniel clicked his tongue and walked away. Michael sat back down, embarrassed. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have. No, she interrupted. Thank you. And she meant it. An hour passed. They talked like old friends who had just met. When Rebecca got up to leave, Michael walked her outside. You know, she said gently, you didn't have to come over earlier. But someone needed to, Michael replied. And I couldn't just stand there. She looked at him for a long moment. A simple janitor, a single dad, a man who didn't hide behind pride, ego, or image. A man with a good heart. Michael, she said softly, would you join me for dinner again? Not tonight, but sometime. He blinked, stunned. Me, but you're an admiral. She smiled. A soft, rare smile that only a few ever saw. And you're someone who made my worst night better. Michael swallowed hard, fighting emotion. I'd be honored. Over the weeks that followed, something remarkable grew between them. Not romance at first, understanding, safety, respect. Michael learned that Rebecca struggled with the weight she gained after an injury. Rebecca learned how hard life had been for him since losing his wife. They faced challenges together. Her insecurity, his financial struggles, her demanding job, his fear of failing as a father. They worked through each piece of brokenness with patience. He helped her see beauty beyond appearance. She helped him see purpose beyond titles. When Michael introduced her to Emily, the little girl hugged her instantly. You're the Navy lady, Emily said excitedly. Dad says you're really brave. Rebecca felt her eyes sting. Your dad is the brave one, she whispered. Months later, at Emily's school science fair, Rebecca saw Daniel again. He didn't recognize her at first. She stood taller, happier, glowing with confidence she had almost forgotten she had. Michael walked up beside her, holding her hand. Daniel stared, confused. You, he muttered, aren't you the one from that date? Rebecca smiled calmly. Yes, the same one. Michael pulled her gently closer. You okay? He whispered. She nodded. Never better. Daniel blinked, realizing how foolish he had been. He opened his mouth to speak. Maybe apologize, maybe justify, but Rebecca raised a hand. No need, she said kindly. Your rejection helped me meet someone better. She squeezed Michael's hand, and it reminded me my worth was never yours to measure. As the school auditorium filled with applause for Emily winning first place, Rebecca felt something warm inside her, something she hadn't felt in years. Hope. She looked at Michael, at his proud smile, at the daughter who adored him. This wasn't the life she had planned, but it was the life she had needed. And she whispered to herself a truth she wanted the world to remember. Sometimes, rejection is just God redirecting you toward the people who see your soul, not your silhouette.